Matt, what's the mood in the camp after back-to-back wins? Is there a determination to try and make it through on Saturday?
Yeah, it's always your determination. Obviously, buoyant mood on the back of the victory at Orient and probably the manner of it, certainly in terms of the second half. Probably showed a different side to ourselves, which we've been looking for and striving for. And we're able to achieve, certainly backs against the wall, second half. So they've been bright. Obviously, I think the warmer climate and warmer weather and the feeling of spring is just livening them up a little bit. But we all are also going into a 3-game week. A lot of points to play for, lots to look forward to, lots of challenges ahead, but a fantastic game to get started.
Did Saturday stress the importance of a clean sheet and how important are getting more of those before the end of the season?
Well, we've been begging, praying, asking for them. Like we said after the game, bribing them at times. The importance is there for all to see in terms of clean sheets, but also first goals at this level and not being behind and not having to chase a game. I thought first half were as good as we've been probably on the road for a long period. Second half was a slightly different type of performance, and then obviously the sending off it changes it completely for the last 15 or 20 minutes of the game. So lots of pleasing factors, still so much to work on. And despite winning 2 games of football, we've not changed our mindset towards training. It's still been out of possession work, it's still been defensive based. But I just like the way the intent of the team has just shifted a little bit, and hopefully now we're having more success off the back of it. That will continue. We can build extra layers on top of it.
Yeah, James's sending off was the one negative from last weekend. Have you had a chance to see the incident, talk to him about it?
Yeah, it's a poor moment. He knows that, and we can't butter that up any other way. From an experienced player as well, a real shame, and the biggest punishment is he's not available for 3 games. Luckily, we got through with that clean sheet and the 3 points intact, but that could have been a different story. Like I say, for 3 big games of football, to not be available for is a real shame.
So no James Wilson for Saturday and beyond. In terms of other team news, Jack Hunt, how's he?
Struggling. Anyone who was at the game saw the first 2 minutes, so what happened in terms of that calf injury. So we've had the scan results, so he'll be out for a period of time.
And any other team news? Anyone back? Anyone not available for the weekend?
No, Grant Ward's getting closer and closer.
Yeah.
This weekend's probably 1 game too soon or 3 days too soon. I think we'll take him to Fleetwood and potentially link him with a view for getting him involved and getting him on the pitch for some, not game time, just being available really. But I think Saturday might come just a little bit too soon in terms of his training load and what he's been able to do. But all of a sudden a big influence back within the squad. So great that he's close to it. Brandon possibly back end of next week. So the last fixture of the 3, he might well be available, and then he might play a little part in that and then go off on his travels to international football. So it's going to be an interesting week. We said even after the weekend how pleased we were, but it still came at a toll in terms of one player suspending and another player picking up an injury. We've got 1 or 2 bits and pieces physically this week in training as well. So not just the fragile nature of our bodies, but also then what goes into the 3-game week and the toll that takes. But there's some quality come back into it in recent weeks as well. So the changes we might be making as we go through the week shouldn't weaken us in any way.
Yeah, there is a run of away games coming up, but first of all it's Derby at home, which is going to be a tough test. I think your home form mirrors your away form so far this season. How nice would it be to go into those away games off the back of it would be a standout result if you can get a result against
Yeah,
Derby.
well, they're a standout team in the league. They've got the best players, biggest club. I think it'll be a full house this weekend. They'll come well supported, will be well supported. I hope it's a good game of football. I hope it's a game of football where the teeth and players can, the players and the fans alike can really get their teeth into it. Because Derby at home should be one to really look forward to. And this fan base has said all along that we've been able to raise our games against the bigger teams, so we're certainly going to have to do that this weekend, because like I say, there's some real strength in the opposition.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Derby and Bolton and Portsmouth. How is that? I mean, in the Championship they say there's four big teams and then everyone else trying to chase them. How big a gap is there between the likes of Derby, Bolton and teams like yourselves who are looking to catch up with them?
Well, certainly in terms of Derby, from their point of view, there's a big gap. Squad size, quality, finance, size of club and infrastructure. You have to also remember where some of those clubs have been. You've just mentioned, Derby and Bolton have been in the Premier League, and Portsmouth as well. So we've not been above probably where we are at the moment. So we're looking to push through that ceiling and get a bit more of a positive feel about what might be achieved ahead of us as opposed to behind us. the most recent history of this football club has been in the league below and even in non-league football. So that's a total different spectrum to what you've just mentioned in terms of those clubs. But there are direct competition, and we know that if we play to our maximum, play at our best, we can give these teams a really good game, and if not, pick up some points. We've shown that already this season, so why not this weekend?
Just finally, some lovely clips on social media from your win at Leyton Orient, how the Rovers fans really enjoyed the victory. I mean, you tried telling them that there's nothing to play for this season. What's it mean when you see the Rovers fans happy on a Saturday at 5 o'clock?
I've certainly never been one to say there's nothing to play for, and I want my players to be the same. There's so much to play for, but an away win is different because they've travelled, they've probably had a few beers on the way on the train or in the back of a car. At half time in the concourse underground, I had some mates at the game. They just enjoyed it, enjoyed the day out, the feel of it, and when you get a result like that, and certainly with the circumstances of the second half, it just means a little bit more, and you're able to celebrate with the players, but also hopefully the supporters are starting to relate to the team a little bit more. Now, 2 games doesn't make that big a difference, but we're certainly moving in the right direction to getting a feel of an identity for the football club, and an identity which hopefully our fans can feel part of and be proud of.
So you're converting some of your mates into gasheads, are you?
Well, one of them's a gashead already, so he's been giving me stick for a while now. But the others certainly enjoyed it. They were half cut at the time, but they certainly had a good time. And then we had a few beers in London on a Saturday night. And everything's more enjoyable when you win games of football. It's so strange, certainly in this position, that you're determined to and dictated to by results, and judged by results as well, as a person, despite being a football manager, and a parent and a husband. But it certainly makes everything a little bit lighter around you when you win your games of football. So we're pleased on the back of 2 wins, but we certainly want to build on that this week.